All right, so I thought I'd put together a quick little tutorial for teachers for using Padlet. Now, Padlet is, as far as I see, free, right? It's a free program. You can always have the option to upgrade, but I used my D79 account as my email to sign up for this. Anyone could choose what you desire, your D79 or personal email, whatever suits you. So after you do the sign up process, this is the home page for Padlet, for educators, all right? So you can obviously search for Padlets that are already created, or you can make your own, all right? So I've made my own here called Rock Cycle. Um, but here, so if you add a new Padlet, right, you can choose your format for whichever pleases you, whichever seems to fit your type of lesson, for that day. Now, obviously, if you're looking for students to communicate, right, read, write, discuss, right, and you want them to discuss a little bit more, you can open up this back channel where students could just comment back and forth, have a conversation with each other. For social studies purposes, right, you could put together a timeline, geography lessons with maps, and then these grids are pretty much self-explanatory, where you just upload certain things. Now this one obviously is for certain content you can upload. I go with wall for now, for simple basic layout. So you'd select wall. And then you can title it here, whichever you prefer, right? Depending on what the topic is for that day. If we do water cycle another day, description, you could give a brief description. So if this is a basic question and answer, right? Read each question prompt and then give a one sentence response using information from today's reading, right? Or whichever you want their source to be, a slideshow or reading. And then they have other things you could put an icon on it, just if you want to, if it kind of connects to what you're doing that day, right? So for me, sometimes if I find a rock or a water emoji, I would put that, um, just to play around. I mean, students pick up on these little things. I won't find it now, but you could just add any simple icon and it'll show up there, and you can switch it and play around with it as you see fit for your lesson. And then you can continue, or you can just say no icon. Go back, right? This will be the address for this particular Padlet that you're creating. You don't have to copy it yet. Your background wallpaper. Now this, you can go many different ways. You can choose any color you'd like, a solid. If you want like a faded color in the background, play around with that. If you want more textures, that sort of thing. And then you can go with pictures, right? Now they have pictures here already. You can go with water type of theme for this one. Right, so you can search through it, and then obviously you can add your own, right? So if you have a saved picture, you can just upload it from your computer, and that could be the background for this lesson, right? Then you can choose your font style, right? That's the Comic Sans, a little more playful. Now, if you want the responses to have the names, you can click this one on and it'll show their names. But if you don't want to go through the whole hassle of students having to sign in and sign up for this program, you just kind of want it to be anonymous at first, and then you see fit from where, how you continue with it. Then you could put the most recent post at the top, the first post at the top, whoever, in whichever order you prefer. If you want to allow students to comment on each other's, right, you can click that on and off. They could comment to each other's posts. And then if you want them to allow reactions, right? If you want to maybe for social studies or any kind of topic where you want them to vote on something, you could do thumbs up, thumbs down. If you want to give them a point rating, right, a grade, or just a plain old like, you can do that. Right, you could switch those on, right? And then require approval. If you want to review their response before it's posted, you can do that. And then if you want to filter any profanity, which obviously that's always a good thing to explain to them up front. And then next, right? So you can start posting, right? So here we are. So now for teacher, right, you're going to want to add your first thing, right? So if you want to do this as prompt 1, right, or question 1, and then you give the description, describe the water cycle, right, or describe the steps of the water cycle. Right, so that could be their first prompt, right? And then you can switch it around as much as you want. You can edit or whatever you feel free, move it around. If you want it to be on the left side, right side. You could always also add like media, right? So if you want them to observe a picture or to observe something first, and then put a question next to it, you can do that. If there's a video you want them to maybe watch right here, you post it and then you have them comment underneath and that's their response, and that's, you could even put music, that sort of thing. So it's really flexible. And then you can delete it. You could add more, right? If you want it to be like a wall, that sort of thing, right? And then you can always go back to settings and switch around, play around with it and see what else you'd like to do with this Padlet, right? And then from here, right, so that's just creating the Padlet, right? Now let's say once you've finished and once you put it together, your prompts, then up here where it says share, click on that, right? And then you can invite. Now, what I would do is just copy the clipboard link, post it in the chat for the Google Meets or Zoom, whatever you use, or post it to the Google Classroom, right into the lesson itself, which I have done for students this past week. So, those are the different ways you can email specific things. Now, when we do go, when teachers who are back in the building, you could always get the QR code, right? And you can post that on your smartboard. Students can scan it with their phone and then they'll be into this particular Padlet. You could go about that way, right? See here, share on Google Classroom, that sort of thing. So that is the basics of Padlet for now.